Welcome back to the Halloween 365 podcast.
But the Flatwoods Monster, they have brochures in the Mothman Museum, and the Flatwoods Monster is like 2 hours into the center, opposite direction of Point Pleasant. Which, arguably, the Flatwoods Monster has been seen more. Reported to be seen more. And especially more recent, because not that many people are saying anything about Mothman, right?
No.
You know, what's weird is I thought that a couple of years ago, maybe like I could be getting this wrong, so if anybody wants to fact check me out there, be my guest, but I thought 2011 or 2012 was the most recent sighting in Chicago, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
He's just flying everywhere.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It was an episode of Expedition X where they interview people, and apparently it flew in broad daylight over the fucking city. But I don't know about. I mean, maybe it is in Chicago. Now they're saying that it's probably some sort of stork or something that has migrated from West Virginia that was really huge. What was it, Chad? It was some bird. Maybe it was an owl, like this giant owl.
I think it was an owl, but you know, my only problem with that show is Phil Torres is always trying to say everything's a goddamn bird, bat, or crane. It's the whooping crane. I can't, you know. I don't know. Here's a whoop ass
bastard Mothman.
Yeah.
They went and explored the Mothman too. So essentially, the Flatwoods Monster is an alien. I don't think that they think it's anything else, right? That's the general consensus of the Flatwoods Monster.
That's my theory on the whole thing. Maybe look at the bastard.
I mean, yeah. So like Jeremy said, it looks like it's got a nightgown on, and but it's
A round blood red face.
Yeah, well, so that's another thing. They're both from West Virginia, but they both have these glowing red eyes, which is why a lot of people seem to think that people are just seeing big birds in the sky late at night.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's like, what if they're one and the same? Of course, you know, that's the obvious, I guess, rendition of it all. But another thing that makes me kind of question is, what if... You know, I mean, what if it's not an alien? What would it be? Like what could it be? It looks like a rejected poker card. Like well, it should be, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just read. It said the head looks like a ace of spades.
Yeah, sort of.
Oh,
when I see it, I just think of poker cards. It's very unusual.
Which this has been depicted in a lot of different ways. It doesn't necessarily look like that if you play Fallout 76. They have a different take on it. I mean, it doesn't have the big headpiece. It's got a headpiece, but it's not this big.
It's a little more sophisticated looking.
Right, yeah. If you look at the comparison to a human, though, it's friggin' huge. What was the consensus? How big?
10 feet.
10 feet tall? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What kind of ship would it had to have come in, you know?
Yeah, it's like, man, good lord.
Or does it fold up like a lawn chair when it's riding in the ship? Or?
Like a space jockey or something. You know, I do have to ask. What if it's just... What if it doesn't have feet? Like all these depictions that I keep seeing is there's no feet. It's
you
floating.
don't see anything.
They said it glides across the ground.
So it glides at a 10-foot height, right? So I'm just saying, it's like it's a.
I'm just thinking like it going through the woods and hitting branches and shit.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very practical for this thing, and the fact that it's in a nightgown, stumbling around trying to get a drink of water, doesn't exactly.
It's only got 3 fingers. How's it gonna pull shit off of it?
For me, this one's hard for me to buy. I know before we started this episode, we had a debate on which cryptid we were going to go, and I'm not going to say which cryptid lost to this one, but I was like, no, I believe in this one over that. Well, I'm starting to change my mind pretty quick the more that I actually think about, like, man, just the inconvenience of floating around at 10 feet in the forest.
Let's do this then, because we did have another one that we were thinking about. So we're only 12 minutes in.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about the good old Flatwoods Monster. And if it doesn't seem more convincing to you, then Jeremy, go ahead and have our second participant's information pulled up. So,
Gotcha.
the Flatwoods Monster, also known as the Braxton County Monster, the Phantom of Flatwoods, or AKA Braxy.
Braxy. Sounds like a lake monster.
It sounds like one of the hillbillies around here trying to get creative with their newborn son's name. Braxy.
Braxton.
We got Braxton, Colton, and River.
River.
My God.
My God. Anyways, good old.
That kid's gonna be a sports champion. I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah, he's got a stupid video. Anyways, the Flatwoods Monster. In West Virginia folklore, it is an entity reported to have been sighted in the town of Flatwoods in Braxton County, West Virginia, which, like I said, is not very far from Point Pleasant, where the Mothman is at, or where he's been sighted. But on September 12th, 1952, a bright object crossed the sky and had many different people see this bright object. So basically, it was at 7:15 p.m. Two brothers, Ed and Fred. I'm sorry, Ed and Fred. They couldn't come up with better names.
I'm done. I mean, come on.
That done it for you.
Ed,
That's
Fred,
it,
and
you
their
got
best
Ed? Yeah,
friend
Fred.
Tommy Hayer.
Tommy Hare. He works down at the lumber yard. You know,
He bags groceries at Save-A-Lot.
bags groceries. Save a lot.
He works at the Piggly Wiggly.
The Piggly Wiggly. It's the one that I knocked over. It's
Oh yeah, that's right.
God.
So, anyways, Ed, Fred, and Tommy said that they saw a bright object cross the sky and land on the property of a local farmer, Mr. G. Bailey Fisher. So the boys went to the home of Kathleen May, where they told their story to Miss Kathleen May. And her, accompanied by the three boys and local children Neil Nunley and Ron Shaver, and a West Virginia National Guardsman, Eugene Lemon, went to the Fisher farm in an effort to locate whatever the boys had seen. So they saw something fly across the sky, landing on landing old man Peabody's farm.
Yes.
It's
Mutate some bitch.
Mutated into human form.
With
Oh,
these names, I
man.
feel like this is just a spin-off of Oh Brother,
This
Where
is
Art Thou?
yeah, dude. This is bad. Like this is like. What year did this take place in? You said
1952, September 12th at 7:15.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
Oh wait.
Um,
Yeah, Ed.
Wait,
Yeah,
what was
Fred.
what year did Marty go back? 1955.
55.
Oh
yeah.
my God! So
there we go, yeah.
It landed in the
October
barn.
27th, 1955. Yeah.
Sweet Jesus.
Yep. It was Marty.
I wonder
It
if
was Marty all along.
if it says anything about the owner of the farm being mad because his pine trees were killed. We know. We
Yeah,
know.
we know. We know. That's definitely Marty.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay. Anyways, they went to the Fisher farm in an effort to locate whatever the bright light was that shot across the sky and landed on the farm. The group reached the top of the hill where the local child Nunley said they saw a pulsing red light coming from the barn. Lemon said that he aimed a flashlight in the direction and momentarily saw a tall, man-like figure with a round, red face surrounded by a pointy-shaped hood behind its head.
I'm telling you, this sounds familiar.
The description has varied. In an article of Fate magazine based on the tape-recorded interviews, UFO writer Gray Barker described the figure as approximately 10 feet or 3 meters tall, with a round blood-red face, a large pointed hood-like shape that surrounds the back of the head, eyes, shapes which emit greenish-orangish light, and a dark black or green body.
And legs that go all the way.
The man has described the figure as having small claw-like hands, clothing-like folds on its outfit, and a head that resembled the ace of spades. According to the story, when the figure made a hissing sound and glided toward this group, Lemon, the National Guard, screamed and dropped his flashlight, causing the group to run away in all directions. The group said that they had smelled a pungent mist, and some later even said that they were nauseated by the smell of this pungent mist that surrounded the 10 feet tall figure that was coming from the barn. The local sheriff and deputy had been investigating reports of a crashed aircraft in the area. They searched the site and reported that was reported to have seen the monster, but they saw, heard, and smelled nothing. According to Barker's account, the next day, Elise Stewart Jr. of Braxton, Democrat, claimed to have discovered skid marks in the field and an odd gummy deposit on the grass, which was subsequently attributed by UFO enthusiasts as an evidence of a flying saucer landing.
So let me just say this: you wouldn't have had this problem if the game warden was called, okay? Because they got more power than the law, and I'll tell you right now, it's ridiculous.
It was the game warden that solved the Beast of Bray Road. Jesus Christ!
There's too many bees.
Those skid marks came from Fred's underwear is what that was.
Probably. Yeah. No.
It was National Guard officer Lemon that left those skid marks when he
Yeah.
shined his flashlight.
My God, we gotta get out of here.
Oh.
Old man Fisher.
Jesus
Thoughts, boys,
Christ.
please, one at a time. Let me know. I want to know.
Germ, go ahead. I got a lot to say about this.
I mean, I do too. The thing that gets me is, I do think it could be an alien. I highly think, just the thing that gets me the most is the clothes. They say it has clothing on, like a gown or whatever. But I mean, in
They
reality,
said
it
that
does make me want to say.
They said the body had clothing like. Oh my God!
Sorry, I had to. Go ahead.
They said that its skin had body had clothing like folds.
Yeah. So it's keeping its outfit pretty nice, like.
It's got that alien drip.
So that's the thing. If it's anything to me, it sounds like that this is some sort of an alien being. And then look at where it's at. West Virginia, like you mentioned, Mothman, that, they're not far from each other. The Men in Black showed up, which it all relates kind of alienish. So, and let's face it, these mountains, they're thick. And it's a perfect place for like a UFO to kind of hide, unless it's wanting to hide in the ocean. But anyway, I'm rambling. I think... definitely that's what my intake is on it, especially with the whole mist thing. But it could be some sort of creature that just evolved over time and decides, hey, I don't want to be naked anymore. I'm going to throw a gown on, So.
Okay, Chad?
I don't know, man. That John Denver's full of shit. Okay. No, it's, for me, I don't believe any of this because, I think these guys are pot farmers, and maybe they just got really fucking stoned one night, and they're like, how can we make some extra money off this? And they saw their kid's comic book laying there, and then bam, next thing you know, something's in their barn, raising all kinds of hell. And it just so happened, like National Guard? Like, what's up with that?
I guess he lived nearby, maybe?
Okay. I mean, that was the one weekend he wasn't doing something, so.
I want to know, because the Weekend Warriors, you son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
I want to know why they were like, yeah, let's go get. So Ed and Fred went and got May. They said, "Oh, May'll know what to do.
He'll know."
And then
he'll know.
They said, "Well, we got May. Who else can we add to it? Well, let's go and get the." What was it?
That National Guard fella, he ain't working today.
Yeah, I heard he's off work. And then we got to get the Gulliver twins, the fucking children from the children from the. Which, you know what? That picture, by the way, that I posted on our poll for this, for the Flatwoods Monster, that is, that's good old May in that
What?
picture. May is
Really?
in this picture. Right here.
Let's pull it up if we can. Oh, there we go. Oh, which one? Okay. Oh, that's me?
Yeah, that's May.
Okay, I'm even less convinced now.
So May's the woman.
Oh, yes. Because Fred and Ed were the guys. I don't know if that's Fred
the
or
dude?
Ed, but
Who's the suit? I need to know.
but yes,
Who's
this
the
is
suit?
May right here. And
Okay.
this is the depiction of the Flatwoods Monster, everybody. If you're watching the video, this is what the original idea of it looked like. So it had holes for eyes that were green-orange. Its whole head was like Red Skull. And then it had this spade-like shroud around it, and its skin looked like it had clothing folds.
It's just a burnt-out candle. That's all it was.
You know what? I could see that in the image.
Like the candle.
Like a
Oh,
can-
yeah.
yeah, like a
It kind
candle
of looks
shape,
like,
basically.
what was his name? Gaston? From Beauty and the Beast. The candle, wasn't that
no,
his name?
Gaston was the prick.
Oh, okay. Who was the candlestick?
I don't know.
He's
It's been
French,
years.
right? I think they were all French. I don't remember. It's been a long time. I don't know about that one.
But in the defense of what Jeremy's saying, Chad, you pointed out that the FBI showed up in the Mothman case, and well, this specific sighting made the local and national news, scaring a wider swath of people than just Braxton County, West Virginia. It then prompted a U.S. Air Force UFO inquiry, part of a project called Project Blue Book.
Oh.
That
Really?
dispatched a handful of investigators in and around the county to see if these such claims about the Flatwoods Monster were true.
Okay.
So,
Uh,
the U.S. Air Force was curious enough to put this in Project Blue Book and make it one of the cases that they've investigated over the years.